we've reduced life to money. But is life only about money?
There was a gap between what people should know and what they actually knew in terms of how to manage their finances. The feedback that I get from every video, testimonies I've been watching for the last 5 years, I've watched for the last 2 years, I've been able to do this, I've been able to do that because I was listening to you. If you don't get the right people to be part of the team, you cannot get to the top. Everybody receives a bottle of water every month. That's your need.
Yeah.
Someone can decide that once they receive the bottle of water, they will drink everything in a day. That's their choice. There's no quick fix. There's no some magic of quick, turn it around. Wealth is built gradually.
Kiyosaki said in his book that the most important education you need is financial education, and it's what the schools don't teach you. Listen to the rich, to the wealthy, and everyday people. And one thing is clear: it appears we've reduced life to money. But is life only about money, or is money a simple tool? Today on the King Obed podcast, sit down with Patrick, who is Ghana's #1 financial planner and helping over 170,000 people daily to come out of their financial challenges. Today on the podcast, we are here to not talk only about investment and savings, but also the mindset, the discipline that is attached to helping you build a wealthy life and not lose it. Welcome to the King Obed podcast, Patrick.
Thank you very much, my brother. I'm honored to be here.
Great. So you've been doing this for how long?
Let's say roughly about plus or minus about 9 years now.
Okay. So you could have chosen to be any other coach, but why financial coach or planner?
Okay, so I've always loved to work in a bank or work with people that manage the finances of others. I had that kind of feeling, but that feeling was actually giving birth when I first started to work with a financial institution. That was somewhere 2013. What I found out was that there was a gap between what people should know and what they actually knew in terms of how to manage their finances. And while there was a gap, I saw it as an opportunity for me to build up my personal capacity in the space, and then I'll be able to enrich that of others. So I started this journey. Actually, 2014, that's when I did my first article that was published by the City Business News online portal. I did something on treasury bills and dollar. I was comparing the two. And then in 2015, I was invited to give a presentation at my church on investment saving because at the time I was working in the bank. When I did the presentation as a one-off, that was the thinking. We got a lot of feedback from people, members, including those who invited me to say that, Patrick, we think that we need more than what you have given us. And then I realized that there was a gap that I anticipated, and now I was seeing the gap there. So then I started the journey to learn more, research more, educate myself more in that space. And then I realized that as I was building up by first of all doing little tips on Facebook, typing key texts, I realized that the interest was building up. And then in 2019-18 thereabout, I started my YouTube channel, Patrick TV GH, where I was now beyond the text. I was now doing videos to explain some of the concepts within banking and the financial world. And that's for me has been the journey. I have developed the passion for this over the years. Trust me, if you leave me for the whole day to talk about finance, I don't mind eating. I won't even feel like I'm hungry. I can speak about it the whole day. I'll not get tired because that's passion for. And for me, what keeps me going is the feedback that I get from every video I do. I mean, testimonies, real testimonies. Not like you've gone to tell someone to type this so that it will be like you are doing a good work. To me, I mean, organic testimonies. I've been watching for the last 5 years. I've watched for the last 2 years. I've been able to do this. I've been able to do that because I was listening to you. For me, that is what drives me to do what I do, and the fulfillment is there for me. So for me, that's the passion, and I don't anticipate moving into any other space within the social media space beyond this. I think this is where I find my fulfillment. I do it in Twi, I do it in English, and I do a lot of economic analysis as well, both local, international, a lot of countries. I do how to manage the economy, certain areas within the banking space, because I built my capacity around that over a period of time. And for me, that's what I do.
Okay, so you identified a gap in all of your discussions or interactions with people. What do you think, or what are some of the gaps that you noticed or identified in these years?
Okay, so I think that first of all, it's lack of education. People just do not know. And the institution that's supposed to let them know, which is the banks, are not doing much when it comes to financial literacy. Usually when banks are doing financial literacy, for most of them, it's tied to a product. So we are doing this because we want you to come buy this product or service. But people genuinely want to understand basic things when it comes to, for example, what is savings account, what's a current account, what's a fixed deposit, what's a treasury bill, how will that impact on their life? These are things that people need answers to. And no matter how many times I talk about treasury bill, I still get questions that in my I've answered already. That's a question that people still need more. So lack of education is one of it. Two is mistrust in the system. Things that really shook the investment lifestyle of people in this country, unfortunately, had to do with two things. In recent times, had to do with the banking sector cleanup and then the DDEP. These are things that breaks the trust in the system, because banking is all about people take their money to institutions because they trust that tomorrow they'll get their money, they'll get interest. So when that trust is broken for whatever reason, people would begin to draw back. They will even spend time to learn about it. They will spend time to even keep their money with the bank. And that is also a very big part of the gap. And the third one is that naturally I see Africans and Ghanaians, we tilt towards too much of entertainment than education. We are so much enthused about entertainment and jokes. I mean, movies, they are good, but beyond the jokes, beyond the laughter, you need to pay the bills. You need to plan for retirement. You need to think of how you can take your child from one level to the other. And that's where financial education is all about. It builds you to take the right investment decisions. So that again is also a gap. And unfortunately, for most of the media houses and media platforms that we have in this country, we don't give so much credence to education like this. Give so much to entertainment because, of course, some of these sponsors know that the psyche of people is towards entertainment. So if we are sponsoring educational programs, who will even watch it? That's the mindset. So they will rather channel their money into other things that gives entertainment. So that's also another reason why there's a gap. Then personally, the final thing I also see as one of the reasons is that people are just not ready to learn. We are not just ready to learn. It doesn't matter whether the person is educated in one field or the other. They are not ready to expand their knowledge base in other fields. So you see someone who is a doctor, medical doctor, he has been practicing for 20 years, but has basically nothing in terms of knowledge about what even a fixed deposit is. For me, that's a problem. If it's about technical banking, technical finance, I understand, but basic things can be seen or read online. Perhaps if you need more information, then that's where the banking sector or your bank or your RM will come in to add more. So without going deep, I think these are for me the key things that I've seen over the period of time. And that's why some of us, we have stepped in together with other people to give as much as we can to educate people. The recently I started talking about shares, and clearly you can see people do not understand shares. No matter how many videos I've done, people just do not understand shares. And that is where it gives me an opportunity to spend time, educate. Eventually, people will get to understand. People see shares and they're asking me the returns they will get because they don't understand shares. They think that shares work like treasury bills. So there should be a return that you get. Meanwhile, shares are based on performance that cannot be preempted or projected easily. So for me, these are the things around where there's a gap and what caused the gap.
Interesting. In all those years, all the gaps that you've mentioned, what steps have you taken to reduce that gap to its minimum level?
Okay, so what I've done is a journey that I spoke about. First of all, breaking technical concepts down to the barest minimum.
Yeah.
And that I do on my channel, YouTube channel, TikTok, and other platforms. I take my time to pick things that you go to the bank, you hear, and you don't have any explanations for. I take them, I break them down, and I do it consistently. Education is not a one-off journey. I do that consistently. So you realize that if you go to my channel and you type treasury bills, you can get about maybe 100 videos on treasury bills. Some of them, the same message, but in a different form, because I want to make sure people understand it. So that is one of the things I've done. Two, I do a lot of advocacy on radio, on television. Every now and then, if I have the time, for example, nowadays, for the last 2 months, every Monday evening, I go on one radio station, on FM. We discuss financial things in the local language. I take my time to break it down. So that's also another thing that I do. Then I also do a lot of presentations in churches, in schools, social groupings. Just in the last 1 month, I've done about 3 or 4 different corporate institutions, some webinars here and there. Last weekend, I did a webinar. These are all things that I'm doing on my own to try and bring everybody to a certain level of understanding. Then I also do a lot of articles. I write articles in the Business and Financial Times. I do my own blogs. And these are all places that people also get to read, they get to know. And that also informs their understanding of what we have discussed. So for me, it is not a one approach. format. I'm doing a lot of things in my own capacity and for the best of my abilities to enrich the conversation, understanding. So I don't just target on the corporate or those in the corporate world. I do and target some content for our informal sector, our mothers, our parents who do not know much about. I do content that also appeals to them as well. So there's still more work to be done, but I think that we are on the right journey, and eventually many people get to know. Just yesterday, one of my interviews with Peace FM was played on their news. People heard it. They were happy about how I was able to break the concept of investment with the local language, and I think it's also part of the journey.
Okay. But there are people who believe that we have reduced life to money. What do you say to it?
I honestly, I'm trying to anticipate life without money. It will not work, because you see, every aspect of our life, there is some monetary consideration.
Yes.
Every aspect. We talk about health, we talk about education, we talk about family upbringing. There's some level of money in it. So if you don't strive to get money into this, you will struggle. So that for me is critical. So I wouldn't say that you should center everything on money. But money integral to make you happy, to make you comfortable, to be able to live the life that you want. When you meet someone who is hungry, who has not eaten, and you want to even crack jokes, think the person will even laugh. I mean, the laughter will not come because the person is hungry. But when the person is full, then the person will be able to open up his or her mind to listen to anything. For example, you want to speak to someone about the gospel of Christ. The person is hungry. You need to feed the person. And how do you feed the person? It's your pocket, money. So for me, money is not the ultimate of life, but it is a driver of a lot of things that we need in this life. So building understanding of money not just help you today, it helps the next generation after you.
Let's take, for instance, some of these worthy men that we know. For instance, in Ghana, the Despites, the Ibrahim Mohammeds, the Magdans and all. Is it a matter of one mindset? Is it a matter of habits or the environment that has separated these people from the rest of the people?
I always talk about the three R's. I hope that I'll be able to remember all.
Yeah.
The first R is what I call the right mindset. The right
mindset. Okay.
Every step that you want to pursue, every goal you want to pursue in life, you need to have the right mindset. The people you mentioned, they have the right entrepreneurial mindset. They know that in business, there are ups and downs. They know that in business, we have seasonal nature. They know that in business, you need to get the right people to work for you. So most of them have built the right mindset such that they are always building something based on what they have been able to start. They know that if some business go down, the next one will rise up again. They are determined. That's what we call the right mindset. So if you want to be successful in any field that you find yourself, whether you are working for someone, you are doing your own work, you need the right mindset. The next one is that you need the right team. That's the next right team. You cannot be successful on your own because you don't live on an island. You need people to support you on that journey. So if you are doing your own business, you need people that you need to employ. They have to fall in line with your vision as a business. Yeah. So you need to have the right team to drive whatever you want to do. If you talk to Despite today, he will tell you 1, 2, 3 people that have been called to his success. They are part of his team. Pick someone like Father Dixon. Why has he been with Despite all these years? Because he's a pillar to the team. If you don't get the right people to be part of the team, you cannot get to the top. So most people are not able to develop and nurture relationships that helps them to get to the next level over the period of time. So that is what separates the high from the middle and the low. So that's the second one, the right team. Then the last one is what? The right coaches or the right mentors. Everyone needs a mentor or a coach. Why do you need a coach? A coach may not be in the same field as you, but the coach has seen something that you have not seen before. The coach has heard something that you have not heard before. That is where they come in to support you, to say that, hey, this road that you are, it can lead you to this because I've seen it before. Do it this way. I did it that way. It didn't help me, and now I'm doing it this way. So I think that if you go that way, you also get to the same point that I got to before I return. So that is what we all need. The right mindset, the right team, and the right mentors. If the mentor cannot, you can't even approach the mentor because of where the person is, the gap. Read about the mentor. Spend time to read about who they are, how they think, what they do. Once you're able to put all these 3 things together, of course, the God factor is there. The God factor is a blessing on these 3 things I've mentioned. Yeah. But if the God factor is there and you don't have the right mindset, you don't build the right team, you you don't have the right people that you're learning from, trust me, even if you build it today, tomorrow it will come crashing down because you don't have a strong foundation which is needed for you to be at the top.
Okay. There are people who believe that the financial coaches and the planners like yourself, you do not actually tell the truth in quote to them, and that some of these formulas, success formulas that have been exhibited by these people are not something which is out in the public, and they don't show all of it to them. They just give a portion, and so they don't tell them the reality of it. So people do not even believe some of you financial coaches, and I'm sure you've heard some of these comments.
Yes, of course. The good thing about what I do and how long I've done it is that you hear everything. You hear both the good, the bad.
Yeah.
But what I always tell people is that a coach who is handling the football team is not the one on the pitch. Let's keep that in mind.
Yeah.
The coach is not the one on the pitch with the football who is supposed to score. The coach is the one on the touchline guiding you because they see something from behind that you don't see.
Yeah.
They will guide you, okay, do it this way, do it that way. From where I sit, this is the advice I will give you. Eventually, when that is said, the ball on the pitch, how you play it is on you. So when people approach financial advisors, they think that the financial advisor is supposed to give them some magic ball, some crystal ball that will change their lives. That is not how it works. We are to give you a concept, explain how it can work or it should work, and then the rest lies on you to ensure that you are following after the right techniques that we've been able to share with you. So let me give a typical example. Someone comes to me, and I think just this morning, someone was even having that conversation with me. So he come to me and said that I have 20,000 cedis. I want to do an investment. Help me to do an investment. So that's the person's ask. If you want to really engage a proper financial advisor, the financial advisor will never ever tell you to go and do this. When the person tells you that, then the person will only say that if I was to be in your shoe. And if you watch my videos, I always say that if I was to be in your shoe, I would do ABCD because of ABCD. So the first question I'll ask you is that why do you want to invest? What is the investment goal? How long do you want to do this investment? What is the risk that you're willing to take for this investment? Now, what am I doing? I'm trying to draw your attention and get information to be able to align you to an investment that will work for you.
Yeah.
And not to say that 20,000 go and do treasury bills. For all you know, treasury bill may not align because you are a risk taker. You want to take high risk for high reward. Treasury bill will give you low risk, low reward. It's important that when we approach financial advisors, we keep this in mind that they are not going to do the work for you. They are going to guide you to do the work. Same for business coaches. If a business coach comes and you approach the person and you say, okay, I want to do this business, or I have 20,000, tell me the business to do. Me, I will never mention the business to you. If you tell you the business you should do with 20,000, I'll never do that because that business I'm going to mention may not be something that you have passion for.
Yeah. And
business is about passion, understanding the market. So if I tell you, okay, go and sell sachet water, you don't have the passion for that kind of business. You may start today, but because the passion is not there, eventually it will go down, and you now go and blame who? The financial advisor or the coach who told you to do that. So when you come to someone for financial advice, you come with what you want to do, and then the person will guide you. Okay, if this is what you want to do, let's look at it from this angle. We think that if we do it this way on the same thing that you want to do, it will yield a better result than what you are thinking of. So you come, okay, I want to go and sell this. Okay, I'll ask you, who is your target audience? What is let's say their finances, their pocket? Can they afford what you want to sell? Which category are you focusing on? Which location are you? So what I'm doing now is that I'm trying to tease your mind to know or understand things that perhaps you have not thought about. You realize that sometimes by the time we are done answering all these questions, you'll have changed your mind. Okay, I think this will not work for me. Let me go and do something else. So that's what we should take. And there's no magic secret anywhere, apart from those that are involved in some fraud that they use, maybe some business to cover. Apart from those ones, those that are genuine, these are the realities that they go through. There's nothing behind it. So, but again, once again, most often than not, because we hear the success story of these people, we don't put our minds on the struggles. Mm-hmm. They go through struggles. Every investment goes through struggle. Every businessman has gone through struggles. So if you want to also be like them, then understand that some friends will reject you. Some family members will not buy into your vision. When these things happen, how are you going to manage it? Are you going to be at loggerheads with people? Are you going to be fighting people? It's all part of the process. And you don't expect that if someone is doing an interview of 30 minutes, they will go into detail of every nitty-gritty. They don't happen. But you as a person, make sure you yourself be able to read between the lines. You do personal research. That's what businesses don't like to do in Ghana. They don't want to go to the field, ask questions, talk to people. They don't want to do that. They want to sit in the comfort of their homes. Someone has done it, I also do it. You don't know the condition under which the person did it before you also want to do it. So for me, I wouldn't say that advisors are just talking plenty. No, I have done business before. I understand how business works. I've managed businesses. I have managed clients that are into big businesses, and I understand how these things work. Every business is unique and separate. The markets are unique and separate. You don't have to pick one business from one market, plug it into another market because you think it worked there and you should work here. It doesn't work that way.
Interesting. So it's just that people should be able to identify their why when they are coming into investment or into any business, anything they want to start. First of all, identify your why. That will be the passion or the grounds that will help you to be either be successful or not.
Sure, exactly.
Okay. Recently, I chanced on a Facebook post by McDan, and then he says that he says you cannot save your way out of poverty. This is something I've been consistently saying. So, and then financial coaches also say we should save. But some of these big men says you cannot save your way out of poverty. Do you agree with him? And can saving alone ever change someone's financial fortune in Ghana?
Okay, so I think I saw that post. That was, I think, 2 days ago, and I even commented on that post. I dropped a comment on that post. I first of all said that I agree with my senior man, 100%. I agree with him that savings cannot bring you out of poverty. That is true, no questions about it. However, if you don't develop a savings culture, you cannot even move to the next level, which is investments. Investments are not done in a vacuum. Investments are based on our savings. So if you think that I need to make more money before I'll consider investment or savings, you will never do investment or savings. It will not work. And let me tell you why it will not work. It's a culture that must be developed over a period of time. If my salary is 5,000 cedis today, I say, oh, because my expenses are a lot, I'm not able to save. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And I'm waiting to, let's say, get to 10,000. When I get to 10,000, we have what we call inflation, lifestyle adjustment or lifestyle inflation. What it means is that the things that appeal to me when I was on 5,000 salary may not appeal to me again. I would like better things, and the better things I'm referring to also comes with higher cost. So realize that at the end of the day, you have so much money, but still your expenses are also going up. And don't forget, our expenses grow 2 times faster than our income. 2 times faster than our income. So if the assumption is that get more money and now begin to save, first of all, you don't have the passion, you don't have the culture, you don't have the discipline to do that. 2, things that appeal to you have not changed. So even if I'm earning 2,000, 500, 2,000, 3,000, whatever amount, and I decide, okay, even if I do that, every month I'm going to put even 5 cedis down, which may be insignificant, maybe just 5 cedis or 20 cedis or 5 cedis, whatever. The moment my income goes up, because I've developed that habit of putting a little aside, the tendency for me to now begin to increase that 5 cedis, 20 cedis to, let's say, 100 cedis, 500 cedis is very high. And I've said that if you are a worker, someone who works or earns money, it's not enough to just do savings. And I'm a savings advocate, but I've told people that savings is just the base. Why are you saving? You are saving because you want to invest. So you convert your savings into an investment, and that investment begins to grow and gives you passive income.
Okay.
With time, you can even decide to convert that investment into a business. And for most people, the main challenge when it comes to business is that they don't have capital.
Yeah.
Which is true. So you go to the bank, you want capital, you won't get it. And why would the bank even give you capital? They won't give you a capital because they don't have anything to hold on to say that you have done it before, and for that matter, we believe that you can do it again. Or you have this collateral that they can follow. Because the bank is not there as a charity organization. They are there to make money. They are there to protect people's money. So you can build your own capital with your savings and investment. And then when the investment gets to a certain point, you use that to start up your business or to expand your business. Oh, these are all things that form the base for me to say that you need to build a base, start something small. And then when the income goes up, you'll be able to do that. Trust me, there are people in Ghana who may be earning 30,000 cedis, 50,000, 25,000, 15,000, 10,000. that do not have any savings, they don't have any investments, they live hand to mouth. But someone who earns about 5,000 may have more savings or investment than them. That's the mindset. That is the mindset. So it's important that we drum it into people's minds that yes, income means that you need to fight your way up to increase that income, which is good. But develop the culture of savings so that the little that you have now, put something aside. If the little you have now cannot save you, imagine if that little is no more. What will happen to you? It means that then you are putting yourself under serious problem. And I asked someone when I shared that particular thing on my dance post, and I mean, my response was not to disagree with him, not to attack him, but just to add context. Ask the person that you have 2,000. You say it's 2,000 is very small. Are you saying that if you decide to put 20 cedis as an investment out of the 20,000 cedis, you will die or what? You won't die. You will still survive. You will still survive. So that is the mindset. I have what I call the bottle water analogy. I don't know whether you've seen it before. Everybody receives a bottle of water every month. That's your income. Someone can decide that once they receive the bottle of water, they will drink everything in a day. That's their choice because they are thirsty. They want to drink everything. That's their choice. Other person will say, okay, let me break this bottle of water into 30 so that each day I drink something small. It's their choice. At the end of the day, ask yourself, if you are crossing over to the next month, will you cross over with a bottle of water that has something in it or empty? It's your personal decision. And you are taking that personal decision with knowing that there are consequences. If I drink all, there are consequences. If I leave some, there are consequences. So that is the mindset that we need to shape people's ideologies around. Income increase. I talk about a lot of investment businesses. I talk about it. I want people to do business. I want people to increase their income. But increasing your income does not solve the problem of poverty. It does not solve the problem of poverty. It only magnifies poverty. People get to know that you are poor, even though you are earning so much. So first of all, develop the culture. Learn to say that this particular part of my income, I'm going to strain myself. I will not use it now. I will use it for something tomorrow. And that tomorrow is the goal. So when you are doing investment savings, keep a goal. Have a goal. Don't just keep the money in your account because Patrick says so or it's for the fun of it. Though, what is the goal of that amount? And that will drive you.
Okay. Interesting. The fact is, in that particular post again, he says that, yes, he says that this issue is our earnings. And he says that the sequence is simple. Earn more, save what you can, invest once you've secured your foundation, right? And yes, so how can we earn more so that we can save and get into the act of investing?
Okay, so again, that's a part that I disagree with him about earn more, save more. You don't need to earn more to save. Okay. Whatever amount you earn today, if you want to save even 10 cedis, you can save. So that's the first thing, because you need to be able to establish the culture. That's the first thing. The second thing is that there are ways that you can grow and earn more. There's one through the formal means and one through the informal means. So let me start with the formal means. Of course, if you are working for someone, pay rise is one of them. Getting a pay rise, changing job, going to a different company, going to a different job, your salary goes up. That's one of the things. So all of these things are formal. You're in the formal sector, you need to do them. Then the informal one is side gig or side hustle, as we say it in Ghana. You see an opportunity, buying and selling, offering of service. You have time for it to read about it. You start it. That gives you little income. And I have a video on the sachet water example that I said. You see, once again, people will ask for solution. You give them the solution. The first thing they will want to do is to attack the solution.
The challenge is to give the solution.
Analysis. Without being deep analysis, you are not feeling well. You go to the doctor. Doctor says that, I think that you are suffering from A, B, C, D. So take this medicine. Then you say that, no, doctor, I don't believe that this medicine will work for me because I feel like I need something more than this. You have 100 cedis that you want to start a business with. And I said, okay, 100 cedis. For me, where I said, there are limited businesses you can do. We can start a pure water business. Get someone who works for you, pay the person at the end of the month. Get the sachet water and make sure you cool it off. It's an expense that you need to factor. Get the person to sell a certain quantity of the sachet. And then in the end of the day, you get this amount of money multiplied by the number of days in a month. This is how much you can make if everything goes well. And if you pay the person this and you pay your expenses, this is what you get. The first thing the person will say that easier said than done.
Yeah.
But business is not supposed to be easy. I've said it so many times that business is not supposed to be easy. If business was that easy, everybody would be a businessman.
Yeah.
So if you think that the mindset is that what I've said is easy, so it cannot be done, then of course you have to focus on your 8 to 9 job. don't ever think of going into business, because business is not for the faint-hearted. It's not for people that want to give excuses. If you want to give excuses, don't go into business. That is one aspect, side gig business that you can do. Or you can use your talent to also offer some services. There are people that are very good in artwork, very good in graphic designing. These are all things that position yourself for. Again, it comes to branding. Brand yourself for. Today, if you go on Google, you go on any AI tool, ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever you can mention, and you type my name, Patrick Baah Abankwah, you get a lot of information about me. Why? Because I've spent time to brand myself on the internet, because I do a lot of things on the internet. So if someone wants to have a negotiation with me or want to know whether I am indeed worth their time, and they go on social media, they just type my name, what would they find? Would they see anything that would push them to come to me? The answer is obviously yes, because I've spent time to brand myself. So whatever skill or service you want to offer, spend time. Nowadays, everything is on social media. Brand yourself. Be consistent. Speak until someone listens. Just I think about a week ago, I was having a conversation with a colleague in the office, and he was saying that now my numbers are very serious on Facebook and all of that. I said yes. Yeah. And I told him that if I wanted to quit, I would have quit long time. So I took him, we were just sitting, I took him to my 2016, 2017 post. So we're looking at the likes. 2 likes, 10 likes, 20 likes. Some of them, maybe I just like, nobody liked it. Yeah. And I was telling you that this is a journey. I didn't stop there. I wanted to pursue until I get where I am now. So it's all part of building your brand. It's all part of perseverance. If I had decided, okay, Charlie, this educational thing, I'm just wasting my time. I mean, of course, when you write, people come and argue with you. Everybody thinks they know about finance, so they come and argue with you. Let me just veer into some entertainment, go and do some jokes, and I'll be fine. I would have had every reason to do that, but I said no. Let me keep on learning. You learn from the best. You read about people. You watch their videos. You are learning, and that will eventually bring you to where you think that you should be, and then even make it more as you go into the future. Now I do post. And even I even get about 200 likes, I think that the post didn't go well. Even though personally, I've switched my mindset from likes to value. Yeah, to value. Are people getting value? If they are getting value, for me, that's okay. But again, it tells people that perhaps you are doing something right. People are seeing what you are doing, and that's why they are supporting you. So that's all of the things I've mentioned are areas that can generate revenue for you. You can go into partnerships. Perhaps you don't have the time to run a particular idea or business. Someone has the time. Go into partnership with the person, provide the capital, let the person run it for you. Be in constant monitoring of it. That is also another way that you can generate revenue. Now, young people are going to agriculture, they are going to farm. We even have what you call Grow For Me. Grow For Me is investing in farms, but you are not going to the market. You are doing through MTN. They have a company called Grow For Me that you are doing through. The number of options. All of this you are doing because you want to earn some extra income. First of all, it is, as I said, is the mindset. If you decide that you want to make more money, you make more money. It starts from the mind. When I wake up in the morning, every time I'm asking myself, how can I make money? How can I make money? What should I do to make more money? That's the mindset. And if you have that mindset, you get sleepless nights. And that means that you are always chasing for opportunities out there. If you're not willing to do this, then I'm sorry, there's no magic ball anywhere. Nobody will be able to give you some magic advice that will change your life overnight. It doesn't work. That's just a scam. You find yourself following after scam, and you end up losing so much money.
Okay. In terms of business, for instance, those in the diaspora, those in Ghana, if someone wants to invest in another person's business, do you as a financial planner, do you support that and do you encourage that as well?
Yes, I it's something that I would rather go for than you to be doing it with someone as your rep in Ghana on your behalf. I'd rather go for partnership with an agreement, sign agreement with clear terms to say that I am giving you this amount of money. This is the return I'm expecting. This is our agreement. That works. Especially if you think that the business is something that the person has experience in that business, they can really do it for you or run it together with you. That I agree. But for you to set up a business and get someone like a family member, a friend here, I have too many examples of things that did not go well. A lot. Especially when it comes to family. Of course, there's family dynamics. Some families are very good when it comes to loyalty, but most often than not, loyalty is not something that people want to put premium on. They just think about themselves and they assume that you are out there enjoying your life. So whatever happens here, they can also enjoy their life here. So that's most often than not means that your capital is eroded by people that you trust. But if it's a partnership that you are investing, you are demanding, it's a purely business transaction. It's nothing personal, nothing family, nothing friends. business. And that's what, if you listen to all the great people that you've mentioned earlier on, when they are running businesses and they have even family members in charge of it, it's purely business. It's nothing personal. If you're not doing well, you are fired. It's as simple as that. Because the moment you bring in emotions, chances are that you, push the business into an abyss and it will eventually collapse.
Okay. Do you believe that Ghana's economy makes it harder to be disciplined with money as compared to other countries? Because, for instance, now, if you take like maybe 8 out of 10 Ghanaians traveling, their main focus is on money. And the reasons are that Ghana doesn't support youth to grow, it doesn't support you economically and all. So people are rushing into the diaspora to make it or to get a capital. And most of the times when I get to see some of the comments on social media, they say these people don't mind them. They got their capital from abroad. So if you have the opportunity or you get any chance, just travel and make the money. What do you say to that?
I think that such people have some iota of truth in what they are saying. Because first of all, if I have 2,000 cedis in January and I decide to keep the money with me, not invest nothing, by the end of the year, that 2,000 in terms of real value would have dropped about maybe 1,008, probably 1,009. I haven't done anything, but my money has lost value. So that leads to hardship. It means that I always have to push to get more money to be able to do the same thing that I'm doing today. So that is an economic factor. Inflation is quite high in this country, even though it is dropping, but it's still high. You compare inflation to countries like the UK, as you mentioned, the US, they are enjoying inflation sometimes even less than 1%, and even with that they complain. It means that if I buy something $100, I can wait and decide to go and buy it in 10 years time, and the price will still be $100. Exactly. But in Ghana, you can't do that. So that means that there's always pressure on you to get more money. Again, unlike developed countries, where there's so much opportunities for you to do multiple jobs here and there, in Ghana, multiple jobs is just a few people who can do that. So you end up staying the whole 8 hours in a day, and you are being paid sometimes 800 cedis. Like I did a video and people came to the inbox. I think I did a budget for 5,000 or 3,000. Then someone came to the inbox and the comment section and said that, can you do a budget for 800 cedis? I took the phone, put the phone down, I honestly did not know what to say.
Right to that person.
How can someone be paid 800 cedis in Ghana? That's less than $100.
Yeah.
For 30 days. So it makes things very difficult for the person. You may preach savings, you may preach investment, but it will never make sense to the person because whatever the person earns cannot even cover their basic needs. So that is where increase your income comes into business. So for example, that person, I told her to consider this water business I mentioned. You just start to let's say some $5. And I feel like if you are being paid 800 cedis, it will be better, prudent, more reasonable for you to quit that job with the little money you have and go and do water business. Give yourself 6 months, you recover, even be doing times 3 times 4 of the 800 cedis that you earn. So again, the options are there, but the system makes it more difficult for people to really excel beyond that. Then again, our lifestyle also does not match up with our income because we watch a lot of people to live our lives. This person has bought this person has this car, this person lives here, let me also go and do that. We don't actually ascribe things that matches with our income.
Yeah.
That the moment you do that, it defeats economic conditions, it defeats common sense, it defeats everything. It becomes like you're on your own. I remember some years back, I used to work in a bank. As I said, I was the branch manager of one of the banks. And then I went to church. We were doing fundraising at church. I think this example, I have to stop giving. I've shared it so many times, but let me still share it again. And then I went to church fundraising. At the time, I think I was in my own projections, thought, okay, let me give 1,000 cedis. I gave the 1,000. I was mentioned, my name was mentioned because we're trying to keep up interest. Yeah. So we wanted this part, so let's do that. Then when you close from church, someone came to me and said that, are you a manager? Big man like you, why are you giving 1,000 cedis? You can't give like 5,000. And I looked at the person and asked the person, do you know my salary? So, are you managers there, Charlie? You have so much. I said, you don't know my salary. At the time, my salary was less than 4,000, around 3,000 something. If you're asking me to give 5,000, yes, of course, if I'm led by the Spirit, I can give that money. And that means I will have to go and look for money elsewhere to come pay. But I wasn't led by the Spirit, but you are pushing me to go and give something because I was a branch manager. That is how some people are pushed. A lot of people are pushed like that. You go for a family meeting, they are all contributing. You know deep down in your heart that, Charlie, You are struggling. You can only give 200 cedis, but because of what people will say, so let me give 2,000, and then we go and look for a loan to come and pay it, forgetting that the loan you are going to pick, the loan is not going to service anything. You are not generating any revenue with that loan that you've taken.
Yeah. So
it becomes a debt that you always have to pay. So lifestyle is also a critical component of how comfortable or otherwise you'll be in the country like Ghana. Amidst all the economic things that I've mentioned, lifestyle is also a critical component. If you don't manage your lifestyle well, trust me, economy may do well, will be doing better, but your lifestyle or your personal economy will be going down while the economy of the country is going up because you have not planned your life well.
I think with respect to the lifestyle we are talking about, is something which is affecting the youth especially, because like we are in that comparison mood, trying to compare ourselves to people who we do not actually even know their source of wealth and all, because at the end of the day, they also have their own things doing, and we are always trying to be on level grounds with them, that this person has bought this person has done this, and later something pops up and somebody who earns something even below 2,000 Ghana cedi wants that latest thing, which in actual sense may not be feasible, regardless of maybe the amount of money you saved and all. So comparing the life, it was the next question I was about asking you. How is the lifestyle affecting our finances as youth, whether in the diaspora, whether in Ghana? And you've touched on this is something that is affecting us so much. We tend to compare a lot to most of people that we don't even see. I read one book, Psychology of Money, and then it says wealth is what you don't see. And he talks about the fact that people go borrow money, buy things and all, but the actual money or the actual wealth is what's in your bank account. So if what's in your bank account is not reflecting in reality with you, then it means that you are failing. You are just looking at on the surface what somebody has gone to perhaps buy. For instance, here in the diaspora, somebody can just go get credit cards, buy stuff with the credit cards. It means that the person is owing. It might not be the person's actual money, but this is something more or less like a loan, and maybe the person buys it and you see it, and then you are into it, but you don't even know the source of the money, and you are kind of, okay, let me also get it, and then you go break the bank, you get it, and you are in debt. So I kind of agree with the lifestyle affecting our way of generating income and then maintaining ourselves financially as youth or individuals.
Sure.
With business, if for instance I am a young guy in Ghana and I'm earning, let's say, 5,000 Ghana a month, and as a financial planner I come to you that, Patrick, this is my income at the end of the month, how can you help me break it down and then go into a business that will be giving me an income aside the 5,000 a month that I'm receiving from maybe my paycheck?
Thank you very much. First of all, when you come to me, the first thing we'll do is that when I'm doing financial planning exercise, you need to draw up a budget. You need to be able to draw up a personal budget. So I'll sit down with you, we'll do the personal budget. So 5,000 is your income. Let's break it down to your expense. So I'll ask you, first of all the expenses that you incur today. So from food, we'll list all the expenses down. And then we realize most of it are not that when you list all your expenses down, realistically, sometimes it's even more than your income. So then we'll begin to do what we call manual adjustments. So you said food, you spend 1,000 cedis. We have seen from the list that 1,000 cedis will not be okay if you want to meet other expenses. So let's reduce the 1,000 to 800. What means that if you are doing A, B, C, or you are buying food at this point, we need to begin to look at bulk purchases and all of that as an option to reduce it. So we do the budget, and as part of the budget, I always insist that if not anything at all, keep about 10% as your investment. So 10% will be added to your expenses when we are drawing up your budget. So then when you are done, we have your budget well spelled out with an investment amount. Now that investment amount is what you are going to invest into business if that's what you want.
Okay.
So there are a number of businesses that you can do. There are some that is capital intensive. There are others that you don't need so much capital to start. So usually when they come to me, I always advise them that the easiest and most commonest business you can do is something that is buying and selling, everyday buying and selling. So ask yourself, around you, what are the everyday buying and selling stuff? Sometimes they are toiletries, sometimes they are ladies' cloth, they are kids' cloth, a lot of things. These are basic things. Some can decide, okay, I want to go into the production of sobolo for weekend parties and all. These are our examples. These are examples that you don't need so much money. Or you can even decide to go into drop shipping. Drop shipping basically means that you post the item or you talk about an item that you are selling. people want to buy it, you take their money and then you get them the item. That again, you don't need much capital except online presence to do that. So these are all options that we'll discuss as a way of building your income. If none of them appeal to you, then I'll tell you that I'm sorry, I can't do anything else beyond this. Because if you want a business that is capital intensive, then it's either you go for a loan or you build up your investment over a period of time before you start that, or you get somebody to partner with by way of partnership to support you with the amount that you need for the business. But if you want to do your own business, then you have to start on a small scale basis by doing some of these things as a way of increasing your income. If you are able to increase the income over a period of time, you can eventually switch to the dream business that you want. It's like a dream job. How many people actually get their dream job right after school? Only few people. Majority of us, we get our dream job sometimes 10 years, 15 years after our first job. So you may have your dream business, but you have a business that you can do today, right now, to get some money to build yourself and to prepare for the dream business. So that again is a mindset that you get to know. So that for me has always been the approach that I use for. So for example, my consultation sessions, the client does a lot more talking than me, because he has to give me information, and the information that he or she will give me will determine what solution. Well, by the time the person is done about, let's say 5, 15, 20 minutes, I may say something like 5 to 10 minutes, I'm done. And realize that what I will say hits straight to what they need, because the need should be generated from what the clients have said and not a generic kind of thing. So for me, that's how I approach an income of 5,000.
Okay. In your earlier statement, you said when you started talking about shares, then you got to realize that people do not actually even understand what shares mean. So for instance, if I'm coming to you as a financial planner and I'm a first-time investor, I have the options of T-bills, treasury bills, shares, mutual funds, stocks. When you sit me down, which of these amongst these four would you advise me to start with, and why?
Okay, so when I sit you down, the first thing is that I'll ask you, what is the goal of the investment you seek? Why do you want to do this investment? Are you doing the investment because in 3 years time you need the money to go and do a project? Are you doing this investment because you think that this should be your pension fund? Are you doing this investment because you have the money sitting with you for the next 6 months and you don't want the money to be in your account, you want to invest? So that determines the goal of the investment. So the person may say, okay, I want something that is maybe 5 to 10 years for assumption's sake. Okay, so then I'll ask you the next question. 5 to 10 years means that you have defined your goal and perhaps is for some project you want to undertake or a business in 10 years time. So the goal has been defined, the duration has been defined. I'll ask you, how much risks are you willing to take? Are you a risk taker or risk averse? Are you someone that you can take risks and not be scared, or anything that flips on when it comes to investment will make you trigger? So if you tell me, okay, I want to take moderate risks, not too low but not too high, then it means that I have enough information to now advise you. So now with this example you have given, I have the information now. I will tell you that if I was to be in your shoes with the same information gathered, I'll go into shares or stocks, and then I'll go into mutual funds. You ask me, okay, what's the percentage? I can decide to do 50-50. I can decide to do 50% mutual funds, 50% shares. Then the person will ask me, so tell me about shares. Shares basically mean that you are giving your money to a company. And you are giving your money to a company for 2 main reasons. And the 2 reasons is something you should keep in mind every time you want to go into shares. One is that I anticipate the share price to go up because shares are bought at a price. So I'm buying 1 share today at 2 cedis. My prayer and anticipation is that tomorrow the price will go to 10 cedis because it's a buying and selling business. When it goes to 10 cedis and I decide to sell, I'm getting a profit of about 8 cedis on the share that I bought at 2 cedis. So that's the reason why I'm buying the share. The second reason why I'm buying the share is that because I'm investing in the company, I become a shareholder in that company. And shareholders enjoy what we call dividends or interest. When the company makes profits, they share dividends to shareholders. So I want to be enjoying profit every year. So I'm investing in this company. So that every year, when you make profit and they share the profit by way of dividends, I get it. So that is what I'm going into. But then again, I'll explain that shares are not fixed income investments. When you say an investment is fixed income, it means that you will know ahead of time how much returns you are going to make. Treasury bill fixed deposits, they are fixed term. So if the bank gives you 10% and I'm doing 10,000, plus or minus, I'm going to make around 1,000 cedis for the 10% that I'm doing. No, bless the word comes to an end, I'm going to get 1,000 cedis. But when it comes to shares, shares are not determined that way. are determined by how the company performs and the impact of that performance on the share price going up. So whatever the share price will get to at the time that you want to sell will determine how much profit you have made. So example of is MTN. MTN was around 2 cedi 50 pesos from the beginning of the year. It went to about 2 cedi 90 pesos. Then they dropped again to about 2 cedi 70 pesos. It went up to 4 cedis. It came down to about 3 cedi 80 pesos. That's how it fluctuates. Now, depending on the time I want to sell it, that's when I'll get to know whether I've made 40%, 50%, 10%, or 5%. So if it got to 4 cedis, I want to sell it, I'm getting a certain margin. If it comes to 3 cedis, I want to sell it, I'm making a certain margin. So that is the mindset that you need to keep in mind if you are going to shares. There's nothing certain, there's nothing defined as your returns. So if you are looking for a hardcore fixed income investment, then a share may not be good for you. People have invested in shares and every day they come, Patrick, Charlie, cost from. I said, yes. That's how shares work. That's how shares work. It's just like the cryptos and all those things. It goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down. So you need to be able to be sure that this is exactly what I want to do. People come to me and they talk plenty. Okay, now I tell them that this is what can happen. This is what can happen. They say, oh, is that so? Then I won't do it again. Because in their mind, they see that, okay, I said beginning of the year to July, a company like SIC has made almost 300% capital gain. Value of the shares has gone up almost 300%. It's good. But I tell them that, you know what? You can buy it today with this particular price. It can do 300%, and the next moment, it can do negative 300%. Are you ready to manage that? Oh, yes, I'm ready. Then I tell them that, you know what it means? It means that if it drops, it's your capital that is going down. So if you invested 10,000, the price has dropped. Investment may not be 10,000 again, maybe 8,000, 7,000. Are you willing to do that? Oh, this thing there, I can't. So then we'll switch to an investment that will work for them. So there is nothing like a straight jacket response when it comes to investment. And I've said this so many times on my channel. And people think that, oh, financial coaches, they don't go straight to the point. We can't go straight to the point because individual differences will determine what will work for you and what will not work for somebody. Someone who is going on retirement should have no business investing so much in shares. You don't have any business investing in shares. Because for you, there's going to be a cutoff of your income stream. And when there's a cutoff, you're going to rely on whatever you have invested and the little from SNIT. So that amount of money is not an amount that you want to go and be doing cha-cha with it. Investing in an investment that goes up, come down, goes up, come down. By one day, it will go up and come down, and out of heart attack, you die. So again, that's what we need to factor in when it comes to investment.
Wow. Interesting. So for instance, you are saying some people come, and I think that what mostly affects us as first-time investors is that we are always looking at the profit margin, what we are going to get, how big it is and all. Like for instance, it says Warren Buffett became a billionaire after so many years, of which for us, we don't want to even go into that process. We just want it. I think there's a term says, I think compounding. That is how he was able to save, go through all the investment, and for so many years, that's at the end of the day, after 50 years or so, that he became a billionaire. So the process, going through that, journey of little, and then compounding it, I think is our problem. We don't have the patience to wait for anything.
Yes, sure. We take a classic example like the owner of KFC. KFC, the owner started the business that actually flourished, I think when he was around 55 years or so. That's when he started KFC. So ask yourself, before 55 years, what was he doing? This man had tried a lot of businesses, tried a lot of investment, did not go well. Most of them actually went down until KFC became KFC. So when you are going into investment, you need to keep at the back of your mind, there's no quick fix. There's no some magic of quick, turn it around. And that's the problem I see with a number of young people like myself.
Yeah.
We think that the world is running too fast, that if you don't take what is due us, the world is crashing today. So we are after every kind of investment, every investment. You meet somebody who is working in the bank, understand finance. Their mindset is that there's this investment that if I invest today 500 cedis, tomorrow the 500 cedis will go to 1,000. The next moment it will go to 2,000. If I bring more people, it's getting 5,000. And the person is asking me whether it's a good investment to do. And I ask the person, why? Why are you even considering an investment like this? Can you imagine this? Because we want to make wealth overnight. It doesn't work that way. The principles when it comes to finance has not changed and will not change for anybody. There are principles that have stood the test of time. Wealth is built gradually. Only component of wealth creation that beats inflation, beats any kind of calculation, is what you said, compound interest, where the money builds up over a period of time and will beat the power of inflation. That means that you need to learn how to build your wealth gradually. If you got an opportunity to do a business, you do it. If you don't have an opportunity to do business, you build up little by little, little by little. Don't be in a haste or a rush. You are not in any competition with anybody. Focus on yourself, your goals, pursue your goals, your investment strategy. That is what you need to focus on. You may be in the same office as another colleague who earns the same salary. The person may have different financial goals to yours. Focus on yourself. And that's what I always tell clients that come to me. Focus on yourself. Let's do what will work for you and not what someone has done. If what the person has done aligns with your goal, fair enough. If it does not, make sure you deal with what works for you.
Wow. Yes, I think that you've given us a full dossier of this financial journey, and like you said, it's not built overnight. It's something that we need to take the process. We need to understand. We need to have the education. Like Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki said in his book that the most important education you need is financial education. It's what the schools don't teach you. So once you are able to understand how the money works, how your money should work and all, you give yourself time. And then with that time frame that you're giving to yourself, you know that yes, you've understood the principles, the processes through which this financial journey goes through, and then you can come out as financially freedom person that you aspire to be. So thank you very much. Anything you want to add up and which you think that is good for you to touch on before we wrap up?
I think that first of all, thank you again for the platform for us to have this discussion. My final words will be very simple. Every investment that you want to do has an element of risks. Risks here means that one, you can lose your capital. You can lose your capital in principal. You can lose everything. You can lose only your interest. You can have your principal or amount you invested delayed in terms of repayment. All these things form part of what we call risks in investment. So make sure you understand these things before you jump into any investments. Again, investment is a byproduct of your savings culture. So if you don't start today to build a very strong savings culture, expecting some rainy day before you take a step, trust me, Jack Benny has said it so many times that if you cannot save when your salary is small, you cannot save when your salary becomes big. It doesn't work. So you need to be able to build your base, and then on top of the base, you begin to invest for more money. As you go through all these risks and all those things, keep in mind that there are some things that you don't need your investment to solve. There are some things that you need insurance to solve for you. So things like death, child's education, these are things that you don't need to do money from your pocket or investment to meet them. Sign up to some insurance, little to cover for some of these things. So that when they happen, the events happen, and these events will happen. When they happen, you have a safe net to fall on to be able to make you stabilize again. These are going to be my final words, and I hope that this does not just become one of those boxes you take by, okay, I watch this financial show and all of that. It's not enough. Me, I don't teach for people to be happy. I always tell people, my teachings are not to make you happy. My teachings are supposed to make you take a step. So if after listening to me, you don't take a step, then I failed. So let's keep that in mind. Take the step beyond what you have heard. And then that's why for me, it's not about grammar. It's not about how eloquent and how skillful you are. No, it's not about that. Beyond that, take a step. Once you take the step, I believe that in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years time, when you meet me somewhere and I'm sitting in my corner enjoying my small sobolo, you come to me to thank me because you took a step and that has led to something great in your life.
Wow. I've watched you several times on TikTok, and yes, you are doing an amazing job. You know, like you said, when you start, you may think that you are not reaching out to people, but the real impact comes when one person tests you and then it follows again, and then you see multiples of messages coming in, trooping in. Then you get, the invites, then people start getting you on their shows and all. It tells you that yes, you sleep with that kind of satisfaction that indeed that seed that you sowed into the ground now is flourishing and is producing fruits as well. So it's a very good journey that you are keeping people on. The things we are not taught actually in school, and you have taken your time free of charge. People go to these business financial consult, financial planners, and they charge them millions of cedis before they can sit them down to plan their life for them. But you have taken upon yourself to just go online, teach us some of these things, and you give it freely. So yes, God bless you for all the journey, and we pray that you have that knowledge, wisdom, understanding to be able to do more for Ghana, for the people at large, for us to have that financial freedom, because almost everything we do, like we said initially, revolves around money. And so we are grateful that you came on the King Obed podcast talking about your journey as a financial planner, the discipline, the mindset that we need, and then the kind of investment, the savings, the kind of businesses that we can partake in or we can go into depending on the level of risk that we are ready to take. So thank you very much for coming on the King Obed podcast. This has been a very insightful and knowledgeable education that you've given to us on finances. Yes, so viewers, listeners, followers of the King Obed podcast, you can have Patrick, follow him on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, or the social media platforms to get enhanced with your financial life and financial journey. Yes, so this has been the King Obed podcast, and we sat down with Patrick on this episode. Until we meet again in the next episode, let's be on the lookout to reach out and be the people who are ready to take our financial life into our hands and be financially free. Thank you. Bye-bye.